Good afternoon, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Sunny Off-Grid Project. It is a rare and amazing warm sunny day. It is 64 degrees. Finally, I'm about to go in and check the RV battery bank. Hopefully they're topping off nicely. This is the first sun I've seen in a week. It was terrible out here. It was raining and raining and raining and raining. My water tank, though, is half filled. That's a good thing, because that was getting down pretty low for a while there. That's really good. The leaves are down in force. I've got to start raking these up and mulching these into the garden soon. But the garden is still growing. The dinosaurs are going to come running, I'm afraid. They always come running when I enter the garden because they usually toss in the rotten cherry tomatoes. I've got some herbs here I want to harvest yet. The catnip is... Look at the catnip has got second growth coming on. Look at that. Nice. I think I'll clip off the tops. Might promote more growth. And these are all, boy, everything's growing. Look at this. The hot and spicy oregano, I love that stuff. Actually, that's a breath freshener. That stuff, you eat that stuff, take one leaf. Look at it growing here. This hot and spicy oregano, you take one leaf and you chew it slowly. Oops. Well, that'll clean up my mouth. It has a peppery burn, and it'll freshen your mouth for hours. Look at this. Look at the growth on these things now. They're all like coming back. Sweet leaf is flowering and going to seed. I'll have to cut the heads off. And my peppers are still producing some food. Oops, that's a, yep, that's one growing. They're still producing. Everything's still growing. Something broke this off, sadly. I'll have to pick him. Look at that. Now, I can put some of these in pots, and they will continue to grow and be valid for next year. They just get bigger. I might do that and put them up in the upstairs. Got the hot chili peppers here. The Brussels sprouts are finally producing. Look at that. So they got a big cabbage head. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. Big cabbage head on the top. And a lot of worms. I have to put some diatomaceous earth on here. Got some more tomatoes still growing. They'll reproduce later. The cabbage didn't really do well, but I'll have to harvest them slowly. And then here, the worms have been destroying this. I've been taking them off. Oh, poor thing. Look at that. These green worms are really horrendous here. There's another. See, there's two of them right there, two side by side. There's one. I mean, it's so plastered with worms. I take off 10, 20, 30 at a time and throw them into the birds, and like a couple days later it's loaded. Look at this, poor thing. Look, there's one right there. That's bird food, chicken food. These plants never had it. There's another one right there. These plants never had a chance to really grow because they're just constantly... Oh, look, 3 of them. 3 right there. They're just being eaten and devoured by these worms. Terrible. Birds! Fresh protein. Eat the worms. Look, there's 4 right there. 5. There's probably more I'm not seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little baby one. Come on, birds. More food. Eat that stuff. Eat those worms off there. Do me a favor. I'll have to come back and pick the rest of them off. Carrots, they never did really grow yet. But then I've got some some turnips to harvest, and popcorn. Popcorn is ready. I'll let it dry out another day in the sun before I harvest it. Anyway, the garden's still growing. All my herbs, oh, nice stuff. Really nice stuff. This basil, the smell, the taste, it's incredible. Different types of mint, sage, I love the smell. I love herbs. Parsley is still growing. I come out and just eat handfuls of it. Good stuff. I wanted to do an update on the Harbor Freight solar panel. Oh, I need to wash it. It's filthy. It'll produce more power if I clean it. This I bought 2 years ago when I first moved off the grid into my camper. And, well, I actually was off the grid for 3 years most of the time, but I bought these when I first moved out of the apartment back in. I moved from my camper into an apartment for 6 months and back into the camper. Now, the panels are still putting out good power. The only thing is, this is just PVC pipe and it blackened from the sun. No big deal. The screw is rusted. They were not stainless. They were cheap. All the screws are rusted. And the framing is cracking in every corner. The frame of the solar panels is cracked in every corner. And that's my only thing so far after 2 years. You would expect them to last a little bit longer, at least from the frames. But that won't affect the solar panels itself. I do need to get out here. I'm going to wash these as soon as I hang up the phone. Hang up the phone, yeah. Put down the camera. I will give these a wash. I have something here I haven't showed you before. I do have a briefcase Harbor Freight solar panel, which I haven't yet showed. I'm going to do a review on this, but I was waiting for eventual sunny days, which I haven't had in forever. But anyway, that's hooked up right now to the tiny house battery bank. It's in the shade, but my wires are too short, so I've got to extend that. That's an amorphous panel, and it comes with a bunch of attachments, which I'll show you one day on a video review. There's a polycrystalline panel that I bought last summer for, I think it was $20. That's a 45 watt panel, retailed for $220, and I got it secondhand for $20. It is not currently hooked up because the charge controller can't handle the current, but I'm going to be wiring that up again soon with a different charge controller into the tiny house on wheels. So just giving a little overview on the power as I go along here. Oh, I promised I'd show you the sink drain. This is inside. See, there's the gasket. Look at that gasket. This is this was on top. This was attached to the bottom of the sink itself. And this part, this rust, look at that, was on here in this bowl. And this bowl was on, this is a stainless steel drain spout. Look at the rust caked onto that. So this bowl was like this. So that means that this was leaking around this and into the bowl all this time. That means it was dripping out under the sink forever. I mean, these people who had it before, they must have known it was leaking. That's ugly. That's why that was so hard to get off. Is the nut was rusted solid to this. And I had to use WD-40 and actually bring the sink out and just beat on it to finally get that off. It was actually, you can see I was beating on it with a hammer. Even after I got the nut off, I had to beat this off with a hammer because it was rusted onto this. So that was rough. So I'm happy I did buy the new ones, the new drains, or whatever you call this part. I'm happy I did buy them for the, it was only like $6. So look at, there's holes in that. This rusted through. Wow. Can you see that? That was horrible. That had been leaking for a while. Alright, let's go look at the RV battery banks. We have, I can't see it myself, what do we got here? Can I get the camera in there? We've got 14.7 volts. Wow. We've got 25 amps coming in right now, 365 watts. Badly needed power for the RV battery bank. Very good. This is a very badly needed day. This was desperate and long in coming. Finally, power coming into the RV battery bank, which will eventually be the tiny house battery bank. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Let me turn on the light here. I've got, somebody told me I'm confused about which is which now. I've got to look this up. But this is VA, volt amps, which is watts. I'm not sure if that's the RMS or the actual peak amps, but I'm using watts, I mean. This is showing me about 18 watts with the only thing hooked up right now is the wireless router and the web camera. I have one web camera on right now. And this is showing 12.3 watts. I'm not sure which is the actual, whether it's 20 watts or 12 watts. So I've got to look that up and find out what is the actual used watts. But either way, it's really not that much power being used by my electric systems at any given time of day or night. That's always being run right there. The camera now and the wireless router. So it's not that much of a drain. Well, it's 2 in the afternoon and I have done no work at the homestead, but I'll show you why. I was out today garage sailing for the tiny house supplies. I've got here for $1 a whole bunch of twist-on connections, and that's what the RVs and campers use. Actually use it for AC wiring in the boxes. I've got here a deadbolt for $5, which is awesome because I was actually thinking about taking the keyway out and spending $20 to get a new lock made for the deadbolt on my house, and here I have a brand new entire hookup for $5. Can't beat that. Now here, actually I bought all this together from the same place and got a discount. I don't even know what I ended up paying individually seen on all this. Now here is a beautiful thing for the tiny house. Let me pause the camera a second. This is a heavy fuse box. Heavy, I mean talking massively heavy. It's brass. And this was in this $3 bag of wires, all of which I can use for my house. There's car blinkers, which can be used for electronics projects and as a Benini motor, which I will one day show you. There's 3 of them in there. That's I think $3, $4, $5 a piece in value. There's a couple battery clips, which is a couple dollars in value, and some wire. That's definitely a couple dollars in value for the wire rolls. Great stuff for tiny house building. But this is the winner. Look at that heavy duty fuse block. Heavy duty. It's really massive. So that's some serious high amp fuses right there. And then I've got this other package also containing a this has a toggle switch and a whole mess of wires, and here a 12 volt power supply, 12 volt socket, cigarette lighter socket. Actually no, it's a 12 volt power outlet. I don't even know. It is a cigarette. It's a short, oh how awesome. That's a short cigarette lighter socket. And well, there's a toggle switch we saw and all these wires. Nice deal. Now here's another winner. I'm not going to open it up right now one-handed, but heavy duty thick gauge wires, right? Plus another massive high current fuse. Very good stuff here. Very good stuff. So there's some heavy gauge wires and everything there. So 8 gauge wire with some thick shielding. Not the heaviest, but it's definitely for the price. Again, I got this on bulk with a couple other things, and I paid less. I don't remember what I paid per thing actually then because I bought in bulk. But tiny house stuff, garage ceiling, good deal. Okay, my camera's plugged in and charging, so this is awkward. I'm going to try to explain what I'm doing here. I have taken my pipe, which is 10 feet long, and I've taken a 4-foot level, and I held the pipe. I couldn't show it. It's impossible because my camera's charging right here. So I took and ran the pipe from here down at an angle and held the level on there, so I got a good downward spout. And it came out to, you can see that black line right there? That comes out really nice. That's a really good downward angle. So I'm going to come out right there. I'm going to drill a hole. I've got my hole cutter, and I think you can watch from here. I think my cable's long enough that you should be able to watch me from here. I'll get my tripod hooked up, and I'm going to drill that hole through, and then I'm going to go outdoors and feed the pipe in from outside. So it's going to be interesting, but this is going to be this is going to work. Feed the pipe in from outdoors into here. But first, I've got to glue the, actually I'm going to have to feed the pipe from indoors. Yeah, I'm going to have to feed it from inside because I got to glue that fitting on, and I want it to cure outside. I don't want the poisonous chemicals in here. Yep, that's how it's going to be done. That'll be taken outside, glue that. I'll do that now actually while I'm drilling the hole. Okay, I'm going to drill this hole out. Getting tools out of my way. So, right here, we're going to go straight to the outdoors. I don't like being this high up, but that's going to be inside the insulated battery bank, above the batteries. What I also don't like is the, I guess the inverter can be mounted higher. Yeah, that's how it's going to have to be. My inverter is going to be here in the wall, so that's an issue as well. Well, that's not good. Okay. Closer to the wall gives me more room. Okay. I take this in steps so I don't burn up the tool or overheat it. It'll expand from heat and catch. There it is. Now, that's through. Now it's hot. I'm going to go straight through everything with this. Right through to the outside. Because I want to make sure that pipe fits. I don't want any wasted airspace around that pipe. I want it to go outside into the battery box. It's going to be the insulated battery box back there. And I want it to be a nice snug fit to prevent anything from getting around it into the house. No point in working so hard and everything only to mess it up with holes in the walls. I honestly hate drilling holes in the walls right now. Not liking the idea too much. Now the bathroom is going to have its separate drain line later. My reasoning for that, it means another hole in the wall, but it means preventing, it doesn't limit space in the house as much, is the thing I'm thinking. Now I've got to keep that straight, that's the key, straight through. I can't get through there. Wow, that cut right through the rock wool nicely. Beautiful. Just like, wow, just like cutting wood. Look at that. It cut through the radiant foil and everything, just like wood. That rock wool is amazing stuff. Really like it. Now, let me see if I can extend this out further so I can at least try to hit that outer wall. I gotta try to hit that outer wall. I hope I can hit that. No, that's too deep. The wall is so thick, there's no way I can hit it with this. Oh. So when I drill a hole outside, it's going to be a trick Oh, I don't know if you can see in there. Can you see how deep that hole is? That's quite a hole. That's an impressive depth in these walls. I like it. Alright, I'm going to have to drill through to the outside and then go around to the outside to finish that hole. Sorry, my battery's dead, so I didn't show you me cutting the outside, but you can imagine how that looks. I just did the inside so you can guess, oh wow, I bet it goes the same way. Anyway, here is the hose. I just shoved it through for a test fit, and it should reach all the way through the house, hopefully. Let me see if we can get this angle and go up to the plumbing for a test fit. I hope my angles are right and good. It is a little bit, oh yeah, that's the weight of the pipe fighting me is all. It is a bit of an angle on me there, so I'm going to have to bend it a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be alright. It's going to have a little bit of a bend to it over here. But, yeah, it's going to work. That's actually better. Now see, that pipe runs along the back of the wall under my counter space, so I don't waste any of my storage space. So that was the idea here. And that runs on a good slope downward, and as soon as that stuff is cured, I can smell it, that glue. It's on the outside though. I have to flip the pipe around and bring it inside and slide it out this way. But anyway, I'm going to let that cure a while, and I'll come back to this later and hook it back up. We'll have working drainage for the kitchen sink today anyway. If nothing else, won't have running water, but I'll have a working drain. That's certainly sort of cool. So anyway, I'm going to let that cure and do something else in the meantime. Okay, I brought the pipe back in and I've reversed it around so that the screw end is inside the house where I want it. Put that outside. It's fighting me, snagging on stuff inside the house. Yep, this is awkward. I don't want to cut it. I have to glue and work on stuff. Come on. This is awkward. Oh, I can see where it's supposed to go. Oh, come on. Almost. Okay, get through there. Oh, come on. Sorry. This looked easy when I thought about it. Got it. Whew. Sorry you couldn't see me struggling. It's awkward in here. Okay, I got it through. Now, where's the plumbing there? Hope this works. I'm also hoping there's not too much pressure because I don't like the this trap is just they're not really as tight as I like. Not to my comfort. Okay. Oh yeah, see it came off. I'm not liking that at all. I might have to replace that trap. I am not liking this. It just popped right out. I just don't like it. Water's gonna come out of that. It's a stupid setup because it doesn't go deep enough. pipe doesn't insert into there. It's not deep enough. It barely has room for the gasket. Don't trust it. Oh, I feel cold air blowing through there. How crazy. Well, I guess we can try a little water in it and keep a container under it and see what happens, huh? I'm supposed to wait 2 hours though before I try putting water through the pipe itself, so maybe I better wait and obey their instructions. Do the test later on. It's cool, I feel cold air blowing through there. Huh. Figure that, huh? I didn't expect that much cold air to blow through. Wow, that's why the trap. I don't know if I can drag the camera over while it's charging over here. See that trap? Its purpose, for those of you who might not know, this trap here is designed to stop air, exactly what's going on, from blowing through the pipes and into your home, which I can feel right here. I can feel cold air blowing through both those pipes, and probably in the sink above. And when water fills this trap, then the air can't blow through. I don't trust that very well at all. I'll try it very carefully later on. I'll wait a couple hours for that glue to cure. Then I'll try it very, very carefully and see what happens. Well, there it is. The drain to the kitchen sink in the tiny house is installed. So I've got gas, I've got water going out. Now I'm going to have that dumping into the gray water tank outside, the original camper gray water tank outdoors, and then as that fills I can take it off on a trailer to my landlady's sewage or dispose of it properly as needed. Later, next year, it won't happen this winter, but next year I'm going to make a water filtration system for the gray water. And I want to have the gray water filtered through the swimming pool filter that I have, that I found in the forest last year, and turn that into pure, clean garden water, taking out all food particles and soaps and whatever else. But soap may or may not be okay for the garden anyway, so I'm going to look into that. Food particles would certainly be good for the garden, but I got to study the laws and regulations and code for dumping gray water on your garden. And I think I'll talk to the health department before I even think about dumping anything out. So just so you know, for the record, I am saying this for the record. I am definitely doing my research before anything gets poured out anywhere except into my landlady's sewage tank. Her septic field, or whatever you want to call that thing out there. Well, there it is for now. I'm going to take a break and get on to the next project of the day.